Here are the stocks that I'm not buying in January 2025. What's up, guys? For those that don't know me, my name is Zach. I'm an exclusive analyst in the Stock Dads Discord, and I share all my analysis when it comes to anything stocks, options, or future related. In this video, I'm going to share my thoughts on a few stocks and explain why I don't think they're good buys. I base the majority of my trading off of technical analysis, and while fundamentals can change at any point, I'm just sharing what I see right now via the charts. Obviously, do your own research, do your own due diligence, but I'm just going to give you guys my insight. So number one here is AMD. AMD was a beloved stock for most of 2023 and 2024, but towards the middle of 2024, it started this monthly sort of decline here, right? And this decline happened after NVIDIA continued to pump. So a lot were very confused, and it was a bit speculative why AMD was not following suit with the rest of these chip names. And for me, that is probably something out of my control, that out of my expertise. I'm not a huge fundamental trader, but here's what I can tell you, right? Looking at the daily chart right here, AMD has been in a downtrend for quite some time. This AMD chart is super weak, and it seems every single pop to the 8 or 20 EMA recently has been a sell. Additionally, if you look at the weekly chart here, the weekly chart has also been in a downtrend since October of 2024. And as you can see, this came right after their earnings when the chart was starting to finally turn and look pretty positive. Then this earnings came, and since this earnings drop, it's been sell every pop. Now the question is, what will the monthly chart do? The monthly chart has been in an uptrend since May of 2023, and since that moment went from about $88 all the way to 200 plus. Now the monthly is curling to the downside, and if this monthly does flip, I think we have a date with sub triple digits. Meaning, I think if this monthly flips to the downside and then eventually takes out this 113 low, I wouldn't be surprised to retest this 99 to 95 support zone before any type of upside move. A lot of people like using trend lines, and as you guys can see, if you draw a trend line from these lows right here from about 2023, you can see that we've pretty much broken that trend line despite the monthly not yet flipping. So this is definitely one to watch for sure if the market does show weakness, and I'm not really interested in going long on this name until the weekly chart flips back into an uptrend. So for me, this is a no buy until further notice. Number two probably gives a lot of people PTSD. That is NIO. NIO here, in my opinion, is a stock that nobody should be touching. Everybody, it seems, knows about NIO, but in my opinion, there's no reason to touch this. Now you ask why. So NIO is two different things, right? It's a foreign ADR, Chinese company, and it's also an electric vehicle company. Now, in breaking that down, for electric vehicles, there are so many better options to choose from: Tesla, Rivian, Polestar, etc. And when it comes to Chinese companies, there's so many that have a better chart, such as PDD, JD, XPEV, and more. Looking at this daily NIO chart, since this pop from earnings in the summer to the fall, this thing has declined about 50% from these highs around near $8 to the low of $4. The daily chart has been in a big downtrend since then. Also looking at the weekly chart, we remain in a downtrend, and the monthly chart has been in a downtrend, believe it or not, all the way back till March or February of 2022. Now, if you look at NIO, we have some critical support around this $354 area. And as you can see, this is where we got our bounce both times around this 350 zone. And for me, the likelihood of it bouncing for a third time is definitely slimmer compared to the previous two times. So while I don't really think this is a short, I also don't think it's a buy, because this could really go either way depending on how the 350 holds. But in my opinion, until at least the weekly flips back into an uptrend, this name is just dead money and has been continued to be dead money for a long time. For me, there are other Chinese names and there are other electric vehicle names that I prefer over NIO. So for me, this is a no buy. Before I get into the next one, guys, I want to let you know that the last one is probably going to hurt some of your feelings, as most of you have potentially been bag holding this for a while. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Number three is Airbnb. So if you look at Airbnb, we've been consolidating for about 3 or 4 months here in a really, really tight range. The problem is this weekly really doesn't know what it wants to do. And the daily chart has also been duking it out for quite some time. But the big issue is that the monthly is still pointed to the downside. While this stock could go either way, there is a lot of conflict within it on the smaller time frame. So this for me makes it a tough long. With the actual market itself and the higher timeframes pushing to all-time highs nearly every single week up until recently, longing a name like Airbnb, which I did like but seems to be relatively weak compared to the market, is just not something I want to do. Airbnb is the strongest name on this list, but I'm not making any exceptions. I'm going to wait until the daily, weekly, monthly are all pointed to the upside and an uptrend, and then I will go long from there. And as of now, we need some type of monthly buy setup to flip this chart, and this will likely happen over the 140 area, as you can see right here, setting up some type of 1, 2, 3. Once the monthly flips back into an uptrend, breaks that 140, and eventually takes out this previous pivot here at 148, we can start working our way back up to that 170 area, which flips the entirety of the chart. But obviously, it's a lot of moving parts, and until then, this is not a buy for me. Before I get to the last stock, guys, if you could do me a favor, drop me a like, subscribe, even drop me a comment. Really helps grow this channel, and I really want to be producing more content for you guys, so I want to make sure these videos go nuts, and that will do your part. Without wasting any more time, guys, number 4 on my list is Nike. And like I said, a lot of you guys will probably be upset with me saying Nike. And I know there's all the fundamental warriors out there telling me why I should be buying Nike here and there. But at the end of the day, guys, people have been telling me to buy Nike since last August. As you guys can see, since last August, yes, we did get a pop from around $75 to almost $90, but there is nothing compared to the drop that we had all the way from $175. And while, yes, even in a downtrending market, you're always going to have these pops, a lot of these people are looking to buy and hold these names for a long, long time. But what people don't realize is despite what the fundamentals are telling you, the technicals have to line up with the chart. And for Nike, this is still in a monthly downtrend and has been in a monthly downtrend since June or July of 2022. So as of now, guys, the daily chart is in a downtrend, and we can actually just made a new low relative to last year's low, which is definitely not ideal. And so when looking at the weekly chart, we're also in a downtrend, and shocker, as I mentioned before, the monthly chart is also in a downtrend. So the first step for me is this weekly chart needs to flip back into an uptrend, which probably doesn't happen until above 83 to 85. And then finally, we need to start working our way back up into the monthly. Nike does have earnings in March. And so in my opinion, this will be the catalyst needed if Nike is going to go higher. However, I don't expect any type of prolonged upside move until then, and I think it'll be either slight downside, chop consolidation until then. And again, while I do still think Nike is not going anywhere, that doesn't mean that the chart lines up with the thoughts. I think there are tons of better stocks out there other than Nike. And again, when the markets are pushing all-time high and you have names that are very, very weak, yes, is there some value in there? Sure. But you'll be much, much better off and have much easier trades and holds just longing the strong names that are already in trend. There is a time and place to bottom pick these stocks, but in my opinion, like mentioned, I think it's just much easier to long the strong names and save yourself the headache. So those are the 4 stocks, guys, that I'm avoiding this January. Obviously, things can change, and if so, I will be putting out future updates. But for now, these are the 4 to stay away from. I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this video, and if you guys are holding these stocks, it is not by any means me telling you to sell. It's just maybe giving you another insight that you didn't know about. But either way, make sure you guys stick to your plan and trade your trading plan, because that's all you can do in the long run. Either way, I wish you guys the best of luck in your investing journey, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.